Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a long book haul. I think I have 25 books that I ordered from BookOutlet. I do this like once a year now because I used to do this all the time. Now I try to like make my cart as big as possible and then go through like this sorting system whenever it's close to my birthday. So I did that and I used some of my coupons that I had. So let's just get right into it. Again, there's going to be art crime, dark academia, fiction, non-fiction, memoirs. I think I covered it all. So yeah, just don't mind my cat. He's coming in and out of frame. He's meowing at me. He was sleeping on my bed and now that I just sat here, he gets always so excited. He wakes up and he wants to like just cuddle with me, but I'm not cuddling right now. I'm filming a video, so you're gonna have to behave, sir. Without further ado, let's get unboxing. I have two very big and full boxes, so this is the first box that we're going to go into. The first book I got is a self-help book, and the reason why I got this is because I know that this person is a multi-passionate person and she's a big advocate for being multi-passionate, so I honestly had to pick it up, and it's Everything is Figureoutable by Mary Forleo. And yeah, I talked about being multi-passionate on my second channel, so I just thought might as well just read books about multi-passionate creators. The next thing that I got is Her Lost Words by Stephanie Marie Thornton, and it's a novel of Mary Wollstonecraft and Mary Shelley. For some of you who don't know, I'm obsessed with both Marys. And I've been reading this book called Romantic Outlaws about them, and that book has just exponentially grown my fascination for both Marys, and now I just want to collect anything and everything that relates to them. Then I got Either Or by Elif Batuman. I think this is the sequel to The Idiot, and I am halfway through The Idiot and I'm really enjoying it, so I just really want to pick this up once I'm done. And yeah, I feel like no one talks about this book, but once I saw it, I got so excited and I had to get it. As you guys know, I love memoirs and I love celebrity memoirs. I've been filming more vlogs about celebrity memoirs that I actually care about. And there's this one. It's Madly Deeply, The Diaries of Alan Rickman. I've always wanted to get a copy of this one. I read Tom Felton's memoir this year, so I think this is a good transition to read at the next half of this year. So I had to pick it up. Really love Alan Rickman, and yeah. Then I got this book. It's called Wintering, The Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times by Catherine May. This book has been in my cart for, I'm not kidding, maybe 2 years. And the reason why I want to read this one is because I'm very interested in books that talk about slow productivity, about rest, about curing burnout, because I feel like when I graduated from my master's at the height of the pandemic, something happened to me and my body and it's never been the same since. So now I'm more conscious than ever that yes, I want to grow things online. Yes, I want to grow, my channel, and I want to publish and I want to do this, and I started a new career, but I also need to value rest and time away. So I think books in this similar genre might help me. The next book that I got is Heart Shaped Box by Joe Hill. I've only heard great things about this book, and honestly I'm reading this book because I was reading Save the Cat, and Save the Cat has examples of tropes that they're talking about in relation to books, popular books, and this is one of the books, and I did not want to spoil the book for myself, so I didn't read that section. So now I need to read this book to go back and read that section. So I just feel like I know I will like this because Joe Hill is related to Stephen King and writes a lot of like mystery horror, and I like the one book to movie adaptation. I think it's the one with Ethan Hawke. It's about the phone and missing children, so if that's anything like that, I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy it. And I love horror, as you guys know. So then I got this book. It's called Complicit by Winnie M. Lee, and this is like kind of like about the film industry, and the reason why I picked this up is because I'm so fascinated by Hollywood and the film industry, and I have like a story that is brewing that's set in Hollywood and has to do with the film industry, and I love books and movies that have to do with the film industry, like Babylon and something Hollywood. The movie that they made with like this reimagined Manson murder ending. So yeah, I figured I'm gonna pick this one up. And it says, you know what it's like, a comment here, a closed door there, turning a blind eye to get ahead. My name is Sarah Lay. You won't have heard of me. A decade ago, I was on the cusp of being a big deal, but that was a long time ago. Now, instead of working in Hollywood, I teach students about it. So yeah, this just sounds so fascinating. And then I had to get this book. It's Respread by Ian Reid. I've read Ian Reid's other 2 novels, and I heard him talk about this book live when I went to the Toronto Author Festival, and he had just published this. I believe it's about an alien grandmother that is like kind of like having these incidents at the group home, but she doesn't know what's real and what's imagined and what's going on. So I feel like it's gonna be such a good tale, and it kind of deals with this aspect of memory and loss of memory, and I think Ian Reid really does that really well in all of his books. So I think this is going to be no different. He's really, I think that's his thing, memory and warping of memories, and I know that I'm going to love this, and I hope that they don't adapt this, because all of his adaptations, I've hated them. Sorry, but it's true. He's a masterful writer, but on screen, it does not translate well. Then I got Daughter by Claudia Day. I've heard only good things about this book, and it's blurb by Sheila Heti, which I love, Raven Lalani, which I love, Miriam Toews, and Sophie McIntosh, and so many more. And it says here, to be loved by your father is to be loved by God. So says Mona Dean, playwright, actress, and daughter of a man famous for one great novel, a man whose needs and insecurities exert an immeasurable toll on the women of his family. Mona, her sister, her half-sister, and their mothers. I just feel like this is going to be an intense family saga, and maybe a coming of age story or like a freedom story. So I think this is going to be so good, and I'm obsessed with the simplicity of this cover. I got this book. It's called The Mad Woman's Ball by Victoria Mass. This is a historical novel, but also like a dark academia historical novel. It's set in Iceland in 1885, and I just heard great things about this through Jean's Bookish Thoughts channel, and I just trust her recommendations so much, so I really had to pick this up. And plus you guys know, if something is set in Paris or France, I have to pick it up. The next 2 books are from the same authors, and I'm so glad I got to find them, because I could not find a copy on Chapters Indigo, and every time I was trying to order it from Amazon, it goes out of stock, and somehow BookOutlet had both of these books. It's The Art Forger and The Collector's Apprentice by B.A. Shapiro. Basically, long story short, books that have to do with collecting art, about art, museums, crime, France, all that good stuff that I love, all that good stuff that I've been reading about. So I know it's formulaic, and apparently this author just talks about these type of stories and narratives, so I think this is going to be like maybe one of my new favorite authors. Who knows? We'll see. I'll definitely be filming a reading vlog, so there's no point of me yapping and talking about this right now. Next thing I got is Extremely Online, The Untold Story of Fame, Influence, and Power of the Internet by Taylor Lorenz. And as you guys know, if it talks about the internet, I'm in. I need to know. I need to read about it. I'm currently on a social media detox hiatus / taking off time from social media to focus on my writing and focus on my life and my health. So it's going well, actually, and I think reading this at this crucial time is going to be very helpful for me. I got The Magus by John Foyles, and it's basically filled with shocks and chilling surprises. The Magus is a masterwork of contemporary literature. In it, a young Englishman, Nicholas Irf, accepts a teaching position on a Greek island, where his friendship with the owner of the island's most magnificent estates leads him into a nightmare. As reality and fantasy are deliberately confused by staged deaths, erotic encounters, and terrifying violence, Irf becomes a desperate man fighting for his sanity and his life. It kind of sounds like Saltburn, but like a reverse Saltburn, and I think that's why I picked this up. And yeah, I just couldn't read the small white like writing at the back, but this sounds really good. And there's another book by this author that I've been recommended, and it's called The Collector, so I couldn't find that one, but I found this one, and I love the cover. There's something about the cover that's so enticing, and I just feel like this is gonna be so up my alley. Okay, this next book, I heard this creator on TikTok, when I was using TikTok, talk about this book and can recommend this book a few times. Her name is Corinne, or that's her like username, and she's really popular if you're on Book Talk, so you'll probably have seen her or know of her. And it's called The God of Endings by Jacqueline Holland. Basically, it says, Colette Lessange is a lonely artist who heads an elite fine art school for children in upstate New York. Her youthful beauty masks the dark truth of her life. She has endured centuries of turmoil and heartache in the wake of her grandfather's long ago decision to make her immortal like himself. Oh my god, say no more. This sounds a bit like Addie LaRue. I love this. This is so up my alley. So happy I got this. And the cover, absolutely stunning, gorgeous, beautiful, show-stopping, masterpiece, masterwork, whatever. The next book I also got because of a recommendation from TikTok/Instagram from one account, and he talked about this book, and apparently this is also having to do with the internet and the influence of the internet, and that it's really good. And it's called Doppelganger, A Trip into the Mirror World by Naomi Klein. And I just know that this will be perfect reads while I am gone from the internet. Okay, I can't believe it, but we finished one box. One box down, one box to go. Okay, the next book we have is White Noise by Don DeLillo. And honestly, I only heard good things about this. This has been, I think this is kind of dystopian. It says Jack Ladney teaches Hitler studios at a liberal arts college in Middle America, where his colleagues include New York expatriates who want to immerse themselves in American magic and dread. Just sounds like a wacko type of book, and I know that there's a movie adaptation that was released, so I just want to read this and then watch the movie. And I love the cover. I don't know, something about this cover. I love covers that have like collage or like very like subtle covers. I don't know what it is, but I'm a basic person. Next we have is The Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. This is like dark academia, and it's also having to do with like fantasy. Always heard good things about this book. And it says Opal is a lot of things: orphan, high school dropout, full-time cynic, and part-time cashier. But of all, she's determined to find a better life for her younger brother Jasper, one that gets them out of Eden, Kentucky, a town remarkable for only two things: bad luck, and E. Sterling, the reclusive 19th century author of the Underland who disappeared over 100 years ago. All she left behind were dark rumors and her home. Everyone agrees that it's best to ignore the uncanny mansion and its misanthropic heir, Arthur. Almost everyone anyway. So yeah, I love stories that have to do with a manor and have to do with like magic and what happened and centuries past. So this is definitely something I love to read about. Okay, then I got this book by B.A. Shapiro, the same author I showed previously. It's called Metropolis. This is basically about different people in a different apartment complex. It says 6 people, 6 secrets, 6 different backgrounds. They would never have met if not their connection to the Metropolis storage warehouse in Cambridge, Massachusetts. When someone falls down an elevator shaft at the facility, each of the 6 becomes caught up in an intensifying chain of events. This kind of reminds me of like Only Murders Left in That Building, and I love that vibe, so really want to read this one. Then we got this book. I'm not sure what it's about, but I just saw the reviews and it looked good. It says Do You Remember Being Born by Shawn Michaels. It says, at 75, Marianne Farmer is almost as famous for her signature tricorn hat and cape as for her verse. Yet recently, her certainty about dedicating herself to the solitary pursuit of her art has started to fray. Into that breach comes an invitation to travel to the headquarters of one of the world's most powerful companies in order to make history by writing a poem. So yeah, this looks very literary and I love that. And it's about an older character and it's about poetry. So I don't know why it looks like it's digital, but maybe some digital aspects will be coming into play as well. I got Megan Fox's poetry book because I was not going to pay $30 to $40. I was going to pay a solid $10 for it. And it's Pretty Boys Are Poisonous by Megan Fox poems. And I really am just curious to read these because I've only heard bad things. And I just love to see what celebrities publish as poetry. I got Ling Ma's story collection, Bliss Montage, and it's because it's the author of Severance, and I heard only great things about this, so nothing much to say, but I love this cover so much. Fruits on the cover, I don't know who started that trend, but great trend. Then I had to get this book. It's Penance by Eliza Clark, and it just sounds like the cruelty of girlhood in a novel. It says, On a beach in a rundown seaside town on the Yorkshire coastline, 16-year-old Joan Wilson is set on fire by 3 other schoolgirls. Just that premise is just so fascinating, and you just want to know what happened, how did they get there, and what happens at the end. And then obviously I had to get this book. It's Mary and the Birth of Frankenstein by Anne Eichholt. Do I have to say more? I'm obsessed. I'm just obsessed. Anything Mary Shelley, Mary Wollstonecraft, I'm obsessed. And then the final book, this beautiful copy, this beautiful book, again by the TikTok creator Quirin. She and another TikTok creator, Lauren Louise, both have read this around the same time and they were raving about this book, and that's why I picked it up. It's such a complex book, but it just sounds like it has a lot of everything that I love. And it says here, when X, an iconoclastic artist, writer, and polarizing shapeshifter, falls dead in her office, her widow, CM, wild with grief and refusing everyone's good advice, hurls herself into writing a biography of the woman she deified. Though X was recognized as a crucial creative force of her era, she kept a tight grip on her life story. Not even CM knows where X was born, and in her quest to find out, she opens a Pandora's box of secrets, betrayals, and destruction. All the while, she immerses herself in the history of the Southern Territory, a fascist theocracy that split from the rest of the country after World War II, and which finally, in the present day, is being forced into an uneasy reunification. So, history, art, relationship, biography, like, it's just so much in one book, and I just want to know how it's all going to unfold, and I just feel like this is going to be a memorable book. But yeah, that's the end of it. That's the end of all these books. I think that was 25 books. I hope. I'm going to count and make sure that I got everything. But let me know if you've encountered new books today. I think you might have encountered a few new books. Some of them maybe not. Maybe they've been around TikTok or they've been viral for a bit. But otherwise, I think I have a great selection. Again, lots of dark academia, art crime, Mary Shelley, fiction, and some nonfiction. Today we're good with the nonfiction. We only have, I think, 2 or 3 nonfiction, and they have to do with the internet, so that's cool. That's always cool. Besides that, I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know if you go crazy during your birthday and buy like a lot of books, or if that's just me. But that's just me. I always buy a lot of books, so it's okay. So yeah, let me know. I'll talk to you and I'll see you soon on the next book video. Bye!